Tonight, we're opening case file number 9.
No conclusions, no promises.
Just one question.
What if they lied to us about everything?
Welcome back to SideQuest Society. What is up, my guys? How are we doing on this fantabulous Saturday afternoon?
What is up and welcome back. Hope you guys are staying cool out there.
For real, we have hit triple digits in the South, and we are not okay. Hope you are better than we are. We have not wanted to go outside. We have kept the shades closed, the doors closed, the fans running to save the electricity and whatnot, but we are not okay.
So, what kind of side question are we going to get into tonight?
We are touching on some conspiracies that we haven't touched on. These in themselves could be episodes, but today we are touching on the fact, not the fact, but the question of what if every single conspiracy out there were true, and how could it change your daily life?
Yep, that's what we got. We got a little hodgepodge of everything in here,
Yeah.
but it's going to be a good one. So, I
Oh,
hope you're
yeah.
ready to buckle up and get ready for this side
Yeah.
quest.
Lots of questions to be answered in the comments. So get your typing fingers ready because we got questions for you. All right, so I guess we'll dive right into, I want to say, maybe my top rated. Let you know we are rating these. We'll get to those at the end. So, well, the end of each segment. But this is my top rated that I believe could be true.
Yeah, I know it's definitely one of your most recent rabbit holes
Oh,
you've been
yeah.
traveling down.
And like I've had personal experiences too today alone. But the dead internet theory, which is going around out there saying that the internet as we know it is no longer ran by humans. It is bot ran. It is AI generated. It is fake engagement. It is repetitive comments. It is algorithm driven. It is,
Rage and clickbait.
yeah, but not by us humans. Like back in, when internet first started, back in the early, late 90s, early 2000s, it was blogs and it was forums and it was
Social networking.
it was stuff like that. And they posed the question like, is it really a dead internet or have we changed? And I just don't know because you showed me a video of a man showing multiple videos with the same audio, but it is a different person every single time. And I ain't ever come across it on my own except for today. Today I was watching some YouTube videos, and there I saw the same ad 3 different times, but it was the same only twice. It was a video of a man talking about how he moved from California to the state that we live in. It was like he was in some kind of podcasting setup. He had like red velvet curtains behind him and whatnot. But the first time I seen it, it was a black man. Second time I seen it, it was a white man. Third time I seen it, it was the same black man again. But it was the same exact script to the T. Talking about the price that he was paying for some kind of, I don't know if it was a flat or a townhouse in LA. Oh, no, sorry, not LA. Silver Springs or Silver Lake. How much he paid, where he moved to here, where we live. The the wages that his wife was getting at her new job and how the amount she was getting paid here is nowhere near the amount they were offering in California, how the kids were happier and everything, but it was a different man from the first time to the second time. And it looked completely real. Like if you did not catch it like I caught it, you wouldn't question it at all.
Yeah, if it was like you only listened to it and you didn't really
Yeah,
pay attention watching it the
it
first
was
time.
same voice, same everything.
Yeah.
And it brings the question up is how when you're interacting in comments and whatnot, what what's the possibility that it's not even a human on the other end?
Right. I have people share videos to me all the time, and they'll talk about like the comments, or they'll reference a specific comment, and then I'll go in there and like my comment section is completely different, and I can't even find the comments that they're talking about. Which, I mean, you can say whatever about that, but it is strange how things are custom fitted for certain people. It fits my algorithm, and then you see the same video, but like
Yeah.
it's spun a different way, or the comment section is leaning a different way.
Yeah. A lot of the times on TikTok, the comment section is where it's at. So, like, you can't just send a video to somebody and say, oh, yo, check out the comments. They're lit. You have to, like, actually send the comment that you're referring to for them to even be able to see that what you're talking about. Me and my best friend do that all the time now. Before, I would just send her the video and, with a message like, check the comments. And then she would never get back to me. So it probably showed her, like, nothing that I was seeing. And, I never really thought about it too much until we started diving into a whole bunch of different things, and I'd seen it pop up in my research for topics to do, and I was like, what is the dead internet theory? Like, what do you mean the internet is very much alive? What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
rip roaring, but
Yeah. Well, maybe it's not alive in the sense that it's not ran by humans.
yeah, and some of this did get kind of exposed when Elon Musk took over what was formerly Twitter, now is X.
Yeah.
He exposed that there was, I don't remember the exact numbers, but the vast majority of the people that were commenting and engaging and doing things, and even accounts on Twitter,
Yeah.
were bots.
Yeah. That's what it's like. It was crazy. And like the video you showed me blew my mind. I was like, what in the world? Like I have seen those types of videos where it's an AI screen on the back that's playing a different video and they're like down in the corner, like they're reacting to a video or telling a story with some kind of thing playing in the background. But I had never come across like a video with the same audio but different people
Yeah,
happening. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. And then it happened to me today and I was like, oh, I caught you, sir. I caught you.
yeah. There's always, you can't trust what's on the internet and all that kind of stuff, like the catfishing and everything.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
who knows what's going on with the internet?
Yeah.
And it,
Every AI generated images all over the place. Now, AI can be a very useful tool, but to make a whole account and it's nothing but AI videos, AI images, AI articles, AI stories, AI music. Like,
yeah, the music is pretty crazy.
yeah. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, sometimes it is pretty fire,
Yeah,
but.
they do make some bangers. But like we've all talked about how like, oh, I swear I've never looked up, or
Hmm.
I've never done any kind of research about this topic or about this item on my phone.
Yeah.
You've only thought about it or maybe talked about it, but then we don't think about, we have, Alexas and stuff like that now that listen in all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
So you don't realize that you've never punched it into your phone, but something has heard you talking about it, and now it starts popping up on.
That's a whole nother episode in itself. I don't know if it's really that. I think maybe our phones are telepathic or whatnot.
You got like
But
some UHF or something going on.
yeah, but because we've me and you have been doing social creation or social content creation for about 2.5 years now, and like it's a struggle. It is not easy. Like I mean, there's a lot of work that goes into it. Like you have to pretty much do stuff daily, and then you're not even guaranteed. And then you'll see some things you'll be like what in the world? Like this is nothing but freaking 30 seconds of bullshit. And
Yeah,
I put my heart and soul into that last video I posted, and this one's got some odd K, and I've got 300. Like,
yeah,
what? Well, it's like, it's fake engagement. It's
yeah.
rage baiting in the comments. And
Or TikTok will, like, I got like 1,300 followers, a little over that on my personal account on TikTok. I'll make a video, it'll get like 400 views, and then TikTok will let me know, oh, you're outperforming 90%
right?
of the people that make this similar content.
Yeah.
There's no way. There's people that have millions of followers
Yeah.
that I watch making the same content that I make, and
Yeah.
I'm outperforming them with 300 views.
No.
Come on now.
No. It's crazy. And I know we've all had the issue of TikTok scrolling for us. What is with that? Is that another thing? Is it just I don't know.
Or the video disappearing like
I
10
had
seconds into watching
I
it.
had that last night, and it like I thought maybe it just scrolled, I was watching a video, and literally, like, maybe 5-10 seconds into the video, it just like went to some kind of live feed. So maybe it did that stupid scrolling thing. And so I scrolled down, and it was the video before it. I scrolled back up, it was the live feed again. So I only scroll up one more, and it was a totally different video. Like, the video was gone. Like, you can chalk that up to maybe the video got deleted or whatever. It wasn't there anymore, maybe. But it was really weird, and I was like, I ain't never seen this one before.
Yeah, it is becoming more and more of a talked about thing, and it's very common. We're seeing it. It's definitely
It's a little scary in my
yeah.
opinion, like, because
Where's
at the end of the day, like, if that is the case, if this was true, if tomorrow we woke up and they announced that, hey, yo, the internet that as you know it is 90% ran by bots, like, that's a little scary, because then the public can be manipulated, viral trends can be manufactured, and then you have to, fits perfect in here, you have to question everything you read, everything you say, everything, like,
you
it's
said say? You
say
mean
not,
see?
yeah, see, that's what I meant. A little worked up. But yeah, it's a little scary when you think about it too deep.
Yeah, it is very very off-putting
Yeah.
on something that you handle daily,
Yeah.
like all the time.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess we've come to the end of this one, because we can go on forever and we don't want to do that. So we've come to our rating uh section of the whatevers. So it's gonna be three different categories: believability, how it, if it were true, like how would it change your daily life, and then rabbit hole. So believability and changing of your daily life is out of 10, rabbit hole is out of 5. So for dead internet, I give it a 9 out of 10 out of believability, because of today alone. I've seen it firsthand that there are some fake stuff out there. I say I rated it a 0 out of 10 of changing my life, because I pretty much question everything as it is. But I mean, it would, like, you would have to be a lot more vigilant of what you read and see, and you would have to know the signs. You would have to not believe everything you at all. Nothing. You would have to believe nothing that you were consuming at the end of the day. But I definitely give it a 5 out of 5 for rabbit hole, because you can go very deep in there.
That's a deep deep one.
Yeah.
Yeah, my rating for believability, I'm gonna stick. I think it's a good solid 8. I There's definitely a lot of truth behind it, no doubt.
Yeah.
Um, as far as how it affects me, I I'm gonna give it an honest about 3. Because I mean, it does affect me. It does affect my social media and then some of my research that I'm trying to do for this. So I
Yeah.
mean, it does affect me.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
And then rabbit hole again, I give it a solid 5. This
Yeah.
you can go very deep into this one.
Oh, yeah.
This
And it's,
Alice in Wonderland
oh,
territory.
definitely. Most definitely. All right. So let's go ahead and move on to the next topic. Do you want to jump into one of yours real quick?
Sure. Since you did one of your most popular ones, I'm gonna go with one of my favorites.
I can
It's a
only
very good
imagine.
one. It is very, very popular. It comes around every so often. It is probably one of the oldest conspiracy theories,
Yeah.
as far as I can tell. And if you want to even call it a conspiracy, so we're talking about none other than flat Earth. So, if you're not familiar with flat Earth, the basic concept of the theory is that the Earth is a not completely flat, but almost like a saucer shaped round object. It has a dome over it that some may say separates the waters from the waters.
A firmament, nonetheless.
Yep, what we would call a firmament. Um, the basic concept of that is that the sun and the moon are underneath this firmament and possibly the stars as well. They rotate around inside of the firmament and we are stationary. That is pretty much
In,
roundabout analogy. A lot of theories include an ice wall
yeah.
that would encompass. Um, well, I guess they all kind of really have the ice wall theory, but that's one of the theories of how they keep the waters
Hmm.
in the firmament. So it's a 150-foot ice wall, is what they say.
The Antarctic Treaty.
Yep. So for a long time, for long, long centuries ago, everyone said that the Earth was flat. And then it's changed, and it's changed hands a few times. They said it was flat, and then they said it was round, and then they said it was flat, and but we're believed that it's a globe. That's what they tell us. That's what they show us. So some of the evidence that a lot of these people like to use are like the Antarctic Treaty, like you stated. So basically, Antarctica is a ice wall instead of a continent,
Mm-hmm.
and it surrounds everything and keeps everything enclosed. And then, of course, the firmament. So I think that, well, there's a couple different theories about it. I'm not going to imply that, but either the ice wall and there's lands beyond the ice wall, or that the ice wall is just before the firmament and kind of goes up the firmament. Um, they also like to use things like Lake Michigan. So if the Earth is curved and the equation to figure out the curvature of the Earth is 8 inches per square mile,
Mm-hmm.
so in theory, if the Earth was curved like this and you stood on one end of Lake Michigan, you shouldn't be able to see the buildings of the city across from the lake.
Yeah.
I forgot to research exactly how far that distance is. I probably should have done that. My bad.
Well, you could talk about mile marker zero, though.
Yep. So I personally have been to mile marker zero in Key West, Florida. So it is 90 miles from Cuba. Both days that I went to mile marker zero were nice, beautiful, clear days, and I could clearly see giant buildings from 90 miles away. I experienced that. I wasn't into flat Earth or hadn't really heard the theory or anything back then, but I experienced that firsthand. Um, Another thing they like to bring up is if satellites are controlling all of our TV and our telecommunications and all this kind of stuff, we've got all these satellites in space, then how come like 80% of all this communication is actually operated and orchestrated through undersea cables connecting all these countries together,
Right.
right? Another one they love to bring up is the UN flag.
Oh yeah.
So if you're familiar with the UN flag, it is actually a flat Earth map.
Yeah. I have seen that.
So
I'm uncomfy. Hold on 1 second.
she's got to get comfy.
I gotta situate. We try new things with the mics because we haven't been able to hear Cosmo over here. He's been kind of staticky, so we put the wind things or what spit shields on
Yeah.
here, and I'm not used to it. So hopefully you can hear us.
Yeah, we're trying some new things. I listened back with some different types of audio stuff and hear some static, some feedback. So we're figuring out.
Yeah.
We're working on upgrading.
Yeah.
But
State of the
so,
world now.
yeah.
Things get pensive. Gotta have priorities and whatnot, unfortunately, and new podcast equipment isn't the top one. But back to sorry, I don't mean to yell in your ear, but you were talking about like the curvature of the earth. We went on a cruise and stuff. So like we've witnessed firsthand, being out in the middle of the freaking ocean and it just smooth as glass, flat. But standing on like land and stuff, looking through binocular stuff, you see the ships in the distance, how they disappear, which you assume is over the horizon or the curvature of the earth, but then you get binoculars or a
Or
telescope or
you
something,
zoom in
or
with
you
a
zoom it,
telephoto
yeah,
lens.
and then they just reappear again. Like, what's with that?
Right. So that goes with the horizontal testing that they do. So science and other people that try to argue for the global math is saying that it's perspective. So since you are not eye level,
Mm-hmm.
then you automatically are higher up above than the thing you were looking at. So that's why when you're in a plane, you can't see the curvature of the earth because you're up above it, so it appears flat.
I ain't never been in a plane. My 38 years of life, and I've kept my feet firmly on the ground.
Yeah. Or like when you're standing on the beach, even though like you're standing at the beach, your eye level is above the horizontal plane, so it is going to appear flat to you.
Mm,
This is what they're saying, man. I mean,
okay.
I'm not saying that flat Earth is either way. I'm just saying this is the science and the things they like to say.
Yeah. Okay.
Also, a popular one is if you've ever watched a space shuttle launch into
Mm-hmm.
space, they always arch.
Yeah. Why?
because they're like skipping across the firmament and they're getting out of the view and then they just splash down into the ocean. That's what
Mm.
they say.
All right. Got any more?
Um, I mean that I could go all day. Really,
Yeah.
the flat Earth is a big, deep one.
That's just that's the tip of the iceberg there.
But basically, if it was true,
Mhm.
if we found out tomorrow that the Earth is actually flat, they've been lying to us, then this unravels history as we know it.
Mhm.
It's going to change global religions. It's going to change philosophy. It's going to change our theories of gravity. It's going to
Yeah.
change so many things. This would have a drastic impact. And if that wasn't enough to peel the veil back from the eyes of the people to show you that the powers that be have been lying and distorting history since as far back as we can trace,
Yeah.
it would expose the lies and everything. And people would, if you've ever seen that image of the elites playing chess and it's being held up on the backs of men, like it's a very popular painting. I'm
Yeah.
not sure who painting it or rendered it, but if we found out tomorrow, then we would all just stand up and the game would be over.
Yeah.
And so,
Hmm. Have we come to our rating section,
yeah,
sir?
that's why I give it I give it a solid 7.5. I think
On.
on believability.
Okay.
I'd push probably maybe even an 8. 8 is probably about the highest I want to go on this scale. I haven't found anything yet that has made me see absolute proof.
Okay.
But an 8 is where I'm going with this. For how it affects me. Again, it would. I guess me personally, it wouldn't really affect because I am smart enough to try to see some of the holes in the narratives and
Mhm.
whatnot. So I give it a good 7. And then for rabbit holes is a 5, a solid 5. Boy, that is one of my favorite rabbit holes of all time.
I'm gonna pause for a second. Elevation has started to kick in. Did you give your rating for Dead Internet?
Oh yeah, I gave my
Okay.
ratings.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
I was just like, I don't remember, but okay.
Yeah, the elevation is kicking in for me too. But yeah, I'm pretty positive.
Okay. I guess I'll go ahead and give my rating for Flat Earth. So believability, I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 10. Like it's interesting. I will say the least. I think I need a bit more proof. Uh, for changing my life, I'll give it a solid 5 out of 10. I guess like it's 50-50. Like I mean, there's gonna be things that change my view, but again, like I said before, like I question everything anyway. So I mean, at the end of the day, it's really not gonna surprise me. Um, And I definitely agree. Like, yeah, no, I didn't agree. I didn't agree with you. That's right. I said it was a 3 out of 5. Like, there's only so far you can go before you start like crossing things and it being a little bit repetitive, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
there is some really far out things, and that's where it starts to lose me. And
Yeah,
there are some people that have some theories and stuff, and it is what it is. But at the end of the day, great conspiracy, and I love it. It's one of my favorites.
yeah. It's a decent one. It's not my favorite, but it's a decent.
The hate I get on the internet anytime I talk about flat Earth.
Oh yeah, I've never like been a commenter on conspiracy theories. I love to consume it. I do not like regurgitate it back to people because it's like at the end of the day, you believe what you want to believe, and again, it's no sweat off my back. I'm not trying to convince you. I don't want you to try to convince me. Like I love to hear your theories, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna believe what I want to believe, and you're gonna believe what you're gonna believe, and that's fine.
I believe
It's not a big deal.
I believe in conversation, not debate.
Yeah,
I don't want to change your mind. I want to hear the way you think about it. I want to see it from your perspective because maybe you
yeah.
might enlighten me into a way that I've never thought before.
Oh yeah, most definitely. There have been some things I'm like, you know what? Hell yeah.
That's a unique way of thinking about it or
Yeah.
looking at it. So
All right. So we've come to. I want to say this is gonna be, I guess, the biggest chunk of this episode here because it covers a lot, and it's the theory of erased history. Like it asks the simple question: what if humanity has forgotten more than we realize? You know, and maybe not even forgotten. Like maybe we had no choice in this matter, and people believe that entire chapters of human history have been lost,
Rewritten.
or erased, either by war, natural disasters, deliberate destruction, or passage of time. And of course, yeah, there's going to be things that we do not know. It's the way of the world, but is it though? Because there have been, especially, I don't want to say recent, but I believe it was in the night. No, let's not. Let me not get ahead of myself here. All right. So what we are saying.
Refer to the note cards. We don't want to be
No,
incorrect.
no, no, no. Let me gather my thoughts here real quick, and I've already read that. So,
Get that energy out of here.
right. So some focus on supposed lost civilizations. Others are less specific and ask whether or not discoveries, cultures, knowledge have disappeared over thousands of years. And it is unlike most conspiracies, and this one starts with simply everyone agrees on that history isn't complete. Um, the reason why people believe it is because destruction of ancient libraries, like the Library of Alexandria is one of them. Missing historical, and the Vatican
Yeah.
archives and whatnot. There are missing historical records, ancient cities buried underneath modern ones, advanced engineering that still amazes us to this day, archaeological discoveries that continue to rewrite time, stories of civilizations that vanished without little explanation. So, some believe that the gaps are simply a result of time, which is highly possible. Things can be lost. And then others wonder if some knowledge was intentionally suppressed or forgotten. Which brings us around to Tartaria.
Dun dun
I
dun.
know people have heard it. It is historically it was Tartara or Tartay is how I think it is spelled on ancient maps. So it was a name that European map makers used from roughly the 13th to the 19th centuries for vast regions across northern and central Asia. It was one. It wasn't, according to the narrative, one unified empire. It was um. It was a broad label for lands the Europeans knew little about. All right, this is what we are told. The theory takes the historical name and proposes something bigger. That there was once something much bigger, a highly advanced worldwide civilization, whose history was deliberately erased. But for why, you ask? Well, it was supposedly a technologically advanced civilization that lasted and only about a few hundred years. I think it was about 400 or 500 years is what I read. It was had massive ornate buildings that were
Very complex.
very complex and were lit not by any kind of electrical like wiring
Yeah.
or whatnot,
Wireless power.
like just like it was pulled out of the air
Right.
or whatever.
They had they had like points on the top of them that were like wrapped in copper, and they were using all different types of ferrous metals on the domes of these things to supposedly
Yeah.
harness electricity from the atmosphere.
And so it is said that the massive, built ornate buildings that are all over Europe and whatnot, and
Ancient
suppose
Rome.
ancient Rome, supposedly here and whatnot, were not built by 19th century architects. They were inherited by the people of Tartaria. Um, it's cut out of history books. There are maps. I have seen maps with the name on there. So if it's on a map, why aren't we learning about it in school? Type thing. Like obviously, it was something to be included on a map.
Speaking of maps, upon research for this episode, I found out that supposedly, um, oh man, the name slipped me. The elevation got me. Joseph Stalin
Mm.
had Tartaria removed from all the maps in Russia.
But for why is the question. If it was not If there wasn't anything there that you needed to hide, why wipe it? Why is there nothing in history, but yet there are things that have survived that prove that it was real?
Yeah, it's like they're claiming that it didn't belong to like a tribe or group of people or whatever. It was just like mapped out areas that these like almost nomadic people had traveled and used and whatever.
Yeah,
It was like early mapping or something like that. And these people just named it. And there's like, oh, they didn't have no civilization.
yeah. But okay. But what about the Great Wall of China?
Yeah, that's one that's coming up a lot more.
Because the Great Wall of China, the stairs that lead up to the Great Wall of China are not on the China side. It
Yeah,
is on the other side. Like there was the wall was built by something else to protect it from China, to keep the people in that region. It probably wasn't called China at the time, but that region of people
yeah.
out
What is
of
modern
something.
day China? Yeah.
Yeah, what is modern day China? It is not, the steps are not on
The
that
Chinese
side,
side.
the Chinese side. It is not. It is on the in what you would call the inside, I guess,
Yeah,
or the outside.
yeah. The opposite of
It's on the
what you would leave, what
which
you were
yeah.
led to
So yeah,
believe.
what you were led to believe. So if it's the Great Wall of China, the steps would be what we would consider on the inside of China,
Yeah,
not on the outside, away from China. So like that's another thing that like makes you go like, well, what was there that we don't know about anymore, type thing. And yeah, you can chalk it up to it being lost or we haven't discovered it yet, but okay,
yeah. There's talks about a mud flood that
yeah,
took them out, and that supposedly is what erased them.
yeah, because there I saw there were people have discovered buildings where, well, not really discovered because there are people living in, but they're weird because like basement windows would be underground
Right.
and there would be stuff on the first floor that you wouldn't like. It's like it's not ground level. The first floor isn't ground level. The what is what would modern day level. But people can argue it if like the grading has changed. I was like, okay, yeah, maybe, but that drastically?
Yeah. I mean, I'm no archeologist.
No, yeah,
I don't know how to explain it.
the
I'd love to be an archaeologist if anyone wants
bro,
to hire me and train
right,
me.
right. Just let me sit and watch. I'll help dust things off or
Hey,
carry bags or
I'm no stranger to a paintbrush.
right. I think that would definitely archaeolog. Being an archaeologist was pretty high up on my wannabe list if when I grow up.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I wanted to be an archaeologist only because of Dr. Alex Grant
Well,
from Jurassic Park.
I never when I was growing up, I never wanted to be an archaeologist. Even though I did, always found history and that type of stuff interesting. It never crossed my mind to be an archaeologist. It was only like I would say in my teens or whatnot that it finally like, oh, that would be a cool job, but how do you even get into something like that? What,
Mhm.
how things were pushed into our thoughts. You have to have a job that pays you so much so you can do this. So like, really, what is archaeology
Yeah,
gonna? How is that gonna
because I
feed your
want to know
life?
the truth.
Yeah. But anyway, it's back to Tartaria before we get too sidetracked. Don't you have something to add about
I mean,
Tartaria?
yeah, I'm definitely going to piggyback off of Tartaria since we're talking about it, and that is talking about the World's Fairs.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're familiar with that, if you know anything about it, but basically, the World's Fairs. Oh, let me get to my notes here. In the late 19th and 20th century, U.S. cities like Chicago and San Francisco. So in 1895, there was one in Chicago, and in 1915, there's one in San Francisco. And so they hosted these very elaborate, um, very huge, immersive, detailed buildings and structures and these monoliths and just all these amazing things that were so advanced for the time. It's amazing if you ever get a chance to look at some of the pictures. Yeah, there are some black and white pictures from back then,
Yeah.
and again, it talks about wireless and glowing electrical boards basically in
Yeah.
these buildings. So they hosted these World's Fairs to show off these things that they built and some new technologies, and they had all different types of what you would expect at a fair, rides and different like exhibits and stuff like that. But they were going around, but the main feature were the architects, and these things were supposed to be built in like 2 years or less. Like
Hmm.
they just threw these things up, but they were like feats of engineering, like the greatest thing anybody had ever seen in arch- architecture.
That words are hard, guys.
Yep, words are hard.
Maybe a little sippy sippy.
Maybe I sippy too hard.
No, I'm talking about you need some water.
No, I'm good with that. But they these buildings, they also match like things that we would find, like we were talking about, in like the ancient Roman and the Greco-Roman
Yeah.
era. Um they just seemed impossible, like I said, for engineering capabilities for that time. We're talking horse and buggy days,
Yeah.
hammer and chisel days. And then like 1915, what kind of generators did they have? These things featured millions of light bulbs. Like they were basically like almost like spotlights. There's all these rides.
Yeah.
It's just all this amazing technology. And then when the World's Fair was all done, they just exploded it and tore it down and demolished it.
Yeah.
And so why spend all that time and invest all that money in doing these things? Well, a lot of people think that these World's Fairs were actually put on as the government's last way of showing off the Tartarian
Hmm.
technology and architecture that was here in America before we arrived. And then when they were done showing it off, they looted all the technology, they took all the history and all the things of value, and then they just destroyed it to rewrite history,
Hmm.
to master this free electricity that they were harvesting from the air from this Tartarian technology that they found.
Wonder if modern day Wi-Fi is reverse a little bit of reverse engineering of that.
Oh, I mean, most definitely. I mean,
I
I
mean, I know
forget.
it's not electricity, but it's definitely something.
Yeah, I forget the young lady's name. There was a woman that basically invented like wireless internet back in like the 70s.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the military used to use it. And Nikola Tesla had very similar things. He had free electricity, the wireless electricity.
Yeah.
Um, anyway, so some of the things that these people choose to talk about the World's Fairs and being connected to Tartaria. Um, again, the impossible timelines, the feats that they did. There was a lot of empty streets. It seems like if this place is full of all these contractors, or they're building this inside of this bustling town of Chicago and
Yeah.
San Francisco, where are all the people?
Yeah.
There's not a lot of people in there. And then there's a subject, or we'll call it a community of people that are into this conspiracy, that swear that there's an influx of orphans, because when you do see pictures, it features a lot of children. And then there's like buses and trams or whatever in the 1950s in San Francisco, that appear to be filled with children.
Hmm.
So one would lead you to believe that they're trying to repopulate these areas. Like they stumbled on this old architecture, and they discovered, all this technology, and so now they're going to harness it. And before they did, they're like, we're going to show off all these people, then claim that, oh,
Yeah. Mm.
it's just this little like fair. And there's always like UFO looking things there too. That's a
Hmm.
little suspicious.
Why does it always come back to aliens somehow?
Free technology, like, I mean, free energy. Like, also back then they had, bells, and they had architecture that was used for resonation and for healing.
Yeah, like sacred geometry. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah. And so a lot of this falls into that, of things that they're trying to hide, they're trying to cover up, they're trying to eliminate from history to keep it from our knowledge,
Yeah.
so that they can keep force feeding us with their medications and their treatments and stuff.
Yeah. While Tartaria and the World's Fair are great examples, there are other ones even further back. So we get into ancient civilizations now, and like there's always been the question with ancient civilizations, like how structures were made, like Stonehenge, like we talked about in a couple episodes ago. Another alien situation, but Stonehenge, people always wondered how did they move these stones to this place? How did they get these stones that weigh God only knows how much on top of each other like that without like
Modern day technology would struggle to try and
yeah.
do it with
But
the precision.
there is one that is thousands of years older than Stonehenge, which is Gobekli Tepe. It was discovered in the 1900s, or I might have wrote this wrong. It has 1900s here, so please do not
Quote me.
quote me. I believe it might have been 1990s, but somewhere in the 90s. 1900s, 1990s, somewhere in there. I know that's a big chunk of
In the
time.
20th century.
In the 20th century, it was discovered. Okay, and it was estimated to be about 11,000 to 12,000 years old. So, which is, like I said, thousands of years older than Stonehenge. It is precision stonework, like things that how old this is, like should not be as precise. Like so precise that huge stones fit together so tightly that you can't even get a piece of paper in between. Like so it brings the question of like how do they move these giant stones? How do they get them to fit together like that? And like these people were like prehistoric almost. Like it's like there's no way these primitive people could have designed this. But maybe they weren't so primitive. We're just told that because the timeline that they tell us doesn't fit for how old these people are. And so that brings you to the question of like, what else haven't we found? So there's this place. There's also like Machu Picchu. Why was this place built so high up? How did these people build this monument so high up? There's Petra in Jordan. I found this one today, and this one blew my mind. Like it was gorgeous.
Oh yeah, I remember you showing me the photos. Like,
Like it was like old Catholic looking building, like you would see like the Catholicism like
yeah,
churches,
very gothic. Like,
but built into like this red stone, like into the mountain, and it was smooth and it was sharp and it looked like it was literally like molded from sand. Like they put it a freaking plastic
yeah.
mold
Or
onto this
like they
thing.
use like a laser to cut that
It
thing
was
out. It was
gorgeous, and it was like used as a trade route for like spices and stuff for like Egypt and all that. And then once sailing routes came about, it went on its downhill. And then also, you have like Pompeii and stuff like that. Like this one is a little bit that one doesn't really have any like architecture that's really worthy to talk about, but like
yeah,
just the civilization and stuff, like how big that civilization was, you know, and things like that. Like there are so many, the freaking Aztecs and
Maya,
the Mayans and like the Egyptians. How were the Egyptian pyramids aligned perfectly? Like
ancient Sumeria,
yeah,
and their pantheon of Anunnaki.
yeah,
Yeah, so much we don't know, and so much that they try to explain, and they're like, "Oh, well, we just don't know," and they're catfishing us, man.
like yeah.
They know.
Just the amount of things that are have we have that is not easily explained by how primitive we are told these civilizations were. Like the structures that are made that can only be seen from above and
Yeah,
like pretty high above too. That so you could see this whole like why are you building these and how are you building these? Like are you trying to talk to somebody that's like that has the technology to
Yeah,
maybe.
the precision that you're
Yeah,
making this is there's no way that it was created without somebody having an aerial view. And they'll argue, "Oh, we built these big, huge, what do you call it? Scaffolding." Come
yeah.
on now,
I mean,
come
it's
on now.
possible. I mean, I guess anything is possible when you put your mind to it, but like, I just think there's a little something there that is not being told. Like, something is lost, something is hidden, and we don't know the full story.
Yeah, and it leads you on the rabbit hole of does mankind reach a certain level of advancement, and then is it killed off by its choices? Does it use up its resources? Does alien race come in? What happens, and then we just get a restart over.
Yeah, something
The
is
great restart.
something happens. Like, why is it, and why is it a bunch of civilizations? Is it that something else? They're gonna try and spin it as something else with better evolvement, maybe wipe them out.
Right.
Not necessarily aliens, but just how like the natural progression of evolvement in time
Yeah.
of
Well,
whatnot.
we have
So
we talked in Tartaria, we have the mud flood. Every religion has some form of a great flood,
yeah,
a cataclysmic flood.
yeah.
So I mean, you have events like that happen and wipe out civilizations and would erase timelines, and you have ice ages and things like that. So
I mean, yeah, we'll never know because they're never gonna tell us. So I guess we kind of rambled enough on that one. Like that one could be really an episode, probably two, because there's a lot that goes in there.
oh yeah,
But my rating for this is, it's gonna, how with how much I talked about it, it's gonna sound like a pretty low rating, but I give it a 7.5 out of 10 believability. Like, there, a lot of it can be explained away, but again, it's the knowledge. I think that might just be me saying that because of the knowledge that we're fed. But 7.5. Uh, 10 out of 10 would definitely change our everyday lives. Like, that's to find out that we've been lied to and force fed a narrative for whatever reason they decided to do this, and like we're either not as old as we're told we are, like, so everything is a lot closer in time than we are
yeah.
told.
Time was
Yeah,
manipulated. Yeah,
yeah. So if time, like, I feel like that's a blow. I feel for anybody, like, that
yeah,
would be a lot to swallow. And it's definitely a solid 5 out of 5 rabbit hole. Like, you can go days into this.
yeah. I'm right up there with you with believability. I'm at like a 7.58.
Yeah,
There's a lot of it in there. It's a such a vast topic that it encompasses so much that
yeah.
yep. So I'm 7.5, 8. Uh, as far as affecting me in my everyday life and stuff, I'm more about like a 6.
I mean, I guess I could understand that. Like, we pretty much question everything anyway.
Yeah,
So, like, really, what is it gonna
and
change?
then rabbit hole definitely a 5.
Yeah,
Definitely, it's worth the trip if you've never been down it.
yeah.
Well, I can't talk at all today. Tartaria,
World fairs,
ancient history,
just yeah.
erasing time
I
or
mean, and
manipulating
it,
time to get land stakes
yeah, like,
and make kings official.
it doesn't even have to go as far back as ancient, but just even for a couple of 100 years, like,
Yeah,
what has not been told to us, what has been manipulated to feed a narrative, like, the erasure manipulation of history is a massive deep dive. It is, because it encompasses so much.
yeah.
Okay, we've rambled, so I think we have time for one more.
Let me find my notes here. All right, so this is more of a more modern hot topic, a little hot take.
Yeah.
It got a lot of traction on the internet about a year ago. It still surfaces on social media every once in a while, and that's the fake sun.
Why is it so bright?
Why is it so hot? The sun is warming up. So
No.
that's Megamind. Uh, So basically, the theory around this encompasses that the sun as we know it has either burnt out, is dying, and has been replaced with an
Hmm.
artificial one, or that it is being covered up and we now have a fake sun.
Hmm.
So these are kind of like the key theories. Um, a lot of things that people address is a lot of us remember, especially if you're old like us, the sun being a warm yellow, a golden color.
Yeah.
It warmed up gradually. It was a lot more comfortable.
Yeah.
Sunburns didn't seem so intense and everything. So the sun itself seems different. It's not the same one. It's
Okay. Right.
now manipulated into more of an LED spotlight just beaming. Not only that, it doesn't maintain its kind of natural shape and aura that the sun used to have. It now appears to be a circle, a beaming light, and not a natural light source.
No. I definitely like my eyes are darker, so like before the sun, like I wear sunglasses, but now they're prescription sunglasses because I have to like I just found it was easier to get prescription sunglasses. So before, like when I started wearing glasses, I want to see, so I would never just put sunglasses on so I couldn't see it. It sucked. It made my head hurt. So I would just suffer and not wear sunglasses. And it bothered me, but it didn't bother me as much as it bothers me now. Like that's why I ended up just saying, screw it. I'm gonna spend the money on prescription sunglasses because I need them now. Before I didn't need them as much. They were nice, yeah. They were cool, and
Yeah.
complimented the outfit. But I didn't care. They weren't like a necessity for me. But now they're a necessity. I want it like yeah, it's bright and it's uncomfortable, and I have to I find myself squinting even with sunglasses on sometimes.
I got these baby blues, so I've always had to have sunglasses.
Yeah.
I used to in the '90s, boy. I had that Oakley tan, if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but even thinking back, like with sunglasses on, I felt like I could look at the sun even with
Oh,
sunglasses on. Now it's like
most
it's
most definitely. I remember I used to like challenge myself. They're like, "Oh, you can't look at the sun; you'll go blind." Yeah, so you can't do it now.
no.
That I can't even get like past one trying to look at the sun. And I'm not saying go look at the sun. And I'm not trying to be Donald Trump over here, or no, was it Donald Trump during the eclipse or whatever that was trying to look at the sun?
I'm not sure.
Sounds like something he would do. Um, that's no hate. I'm just stating facts. Um, some of the other things is we have the viral videos with the two suns.
Yeah.
When people try to take pictures, it's doing weird things. It's throwing pixelated beams instead of like a more natural sunbeam that we're used to.
Yeah.
The auras around it are different. Sometimes it throws up weird geometric shapes in the camera,
It's
which
freaking the sun halos.
right, and which we know that a lot of modern day phones have the AIs in the
Yeah.
cameras and stuff, so we can chalk some of that up to that. One of the biggest keys that really get you if you start going down this rabbit hole is that in the 1960s, NASA actually approved a patent, or however you go about getting a patent,
Yeah.
and that is patent number US 3247367A, and that is for a sun simulator.
Say that again.
A sun simulator or sun simulation.
But why would we need something like that?
Hey, I don't know. Ask NASA.
I
So
don't know. I feel you. Like there's definitely something up with the sun. Like because it's not as comforting anymore. Like I found the sun to be comforting. It was the
it
golden
was
glow.
gradual.
It yes, like the heating up was gradual and whatnot. Like I felt like it was good for my mental health to be outside in the sun. And like another thing that gets me that I've seen in this theory is the sunflowers too. Like they don't face the sun anymore.
Exactly. That
Why?
was a big one that came up. Um so if we found out that the sun is artificial. The sun that we have now is fake. It's not the original sun that we had. for whatever reason, um, this casts a lot of issues. It's going to affect mental health. It's going to affect wildlife migrations. It's going to affect crop cycles. It's going to affect how people are getting vitamin D.
Yeah.
Like, this is one of the major things. If out of all the things we talked about tonight, this is the most thing that would have the biggest effect on us if to be true, because it basically is saying that the planet as we know it is on life support,
Yeah.
or it's limping in its failing ecosystem and it's going to be the end of us, or they've blocked it out to get even further control. And if they're controlling it, and if they're giving us the synthetic sun, then like who has the keys to that?
That brings up the that's scary because I also saw when we were doing the research for. I don't have the. This is the acronym for this program. It's HARP, HAARP. I can't remember what it stands for at the moment, but it was pretty much weather control and you know
Manipulation and
manipulation of like the earth. So like fake weather
yeah,
events,
simulated
earthquakes.
earthquakes.
Yeah.
And
So
so like one would argue that a lot of these things are going on. It has been pretty much all of my life, as far as I can remember, people have talked about like them manipulating weather. We know about cloud seeding. They've
yeah,
actually, said that that's a thing that they do. Um I want to jump back just a little bit about some of the things I was describing, like about the mental health and stuff.
yeah,
So like a lot of us are having these problems with mental health, and a lot of people have gone to the internet to take about how they just don't feel right, and life just doesn't feel the same, and they don't feel like they can fit in anymore. And a lot of people have chalked it up to, oh well, it was lockdown and all this kind of stuff, and people are just trying to adjust from that. But what if
yeah. I've definitely seen on the internet that people say that the world just doesn't look as colorful anymore.
right? Everything's
It's
washed out. It's just this intense light.
yeah,
It lacks like
depth.
the depth. It doesn't have the aura. The greens aren't as green. Like things. Yeah,
It's like the saturation. It's like you bumped up the or dulled the saturation down because you put too
yeah,
much contrast or whatever, more too much exposure. So like when you're manipulating your pictures and whatnot, like it's like you the saturation of the earth is no longer there.
yeah. It's a crazy one. It's one that I don't want to stay down very
No,
long. I wouldn't like to think that. I think honestly though, if it
sorry.
was something that was going on, I think we'd be seeing more effects uh planetary than what we're seeing. I think that we would be having issues with a famine, and we would be having different things like that. We Every so often we have migratory issues with different types of birds and
Yeah.
mammals and stuff. So I mean, you chalk that up to everything else, magnetic poles shifting and all this kind of stuff. But fake sun is a scary one.
Oh yeah.
So what's your rating on it?
I originally set a 3 out of 10 believability. But now with the elevation a little higher and you talking to me and whatnot, I'll give it a solid 5 out of 10 believability. It's there needs to be I need a little bit more. Just a little bit more. Um I'll say a 7.5 out of no. I think I'm gonna have to bump it up to 8.5 out of 9. Or 8.5, 9 out of 10 for changing our lives. Because that like you said, yeah, there's a lot that has to deal with the sun. It's a very vital thing for our existence. Um, 3 out of 5 rabbit hole.
Yeah, so I'm pretty close to you with that. I'm at like 4.5 to a 5 on believability. Uh, I went that high just because I believe that it's possible. I believe that they would do it.
Yeah.
But I think that there would be a little bit more signs if it was something that was going on. I'm not saying that some of these things aren't good signs. It's something to look into for sure.
Oh yeah.
Um, Reality. by default, I think that if it came out to be true, and that's
Yeah.
what we're judging it on,
Yeah.
then 10 out of 10, it's gonna affect everything,
Yeah.
life as we know it.
Yeah.
And then rabbit hole, I'm right there with you. I'm at a 3.
Yeah.
It's a decent rabbit hole.
But
There's
it's
a lot there, but it's scary.
yeah, there's a point you start to might if you research too deep, you
Yeah,
might put
you,
yourself into a panic attack type
yeah, you got to
situation.
back out every once in a while.
Yeah.
Know your limits.
Oh yeah. I've made that mistake a few times, being a little too elevated and researching things and be like, okay, I think I need to shut my phone off for the night. But with that, my guys, I think we have come to an end. We have talked your ear off long enough.
Yep. So give us your ratings down below for everyone. Uh, give us some comments.
Yeah, give us the like. It shows us that you love us
Yeah,
and share us out to all like minded individuals. We want to reach as many people as we can. We want to hear as many
yeah,
theories as we can, as many opinions. So subscribe. It shows us that you love us and that you want us to keep
yeah.
going.
It helps us to push this out to help other people. We just want to. We're about informing people, getting people to open their eyes, question
Yeah,
things. You know,
you don't,
critical thinking.
yeah, you don't need to swallow everything that you are
Yeah.
given because at
The
the end of
narrative is almost never correct.
yeah, there's always somebody higher up that profits off
Yeah.
of us low individuals
We're,
believing or not believing.
we're not here just to spread gossip or fear. We're not fear
Nah.
mongers. We're just trying to get you to, hey, man, open up your mind.
Yeah.
Don't just elevate your mind.
Yeah.
Elevate your mind with the knowledge. Question the things.
Oh yeah, because we stay here all the time. Question
Question
everything.
everything
It
I
just
question.
I mean, you might think it's a not a good way to
Mhm.
live, but at the end of the day, I think it is. I don't need to believe everything that
Yeah.
I am told. That everything that I read, I need to experience life myself, and I need to come to my own conclusions,
Yeah.
and not because somebody in a suit tells me something does it make it true.
There's always two sides to every story.
Oh yeah. Okay, guys. I will hush my mouth and I will let you go.
All right. Once again, thank you guys so much for tuning in.
I love you. We love you. Bye.
Stay safe and question everything.